YouTube did okay. I'm live. Okay, so let's see. Before I start, I don't know how the fuck I was supposed to do this, but there ain't no share button on this new YouTube live stream thingamajig. I'm just trying to iron out the kink. Well, not iron out the kinks, but just wanna what's the word I'm looking for? Playing around with it because there's no button. Oh, here's a share button. It's right down here. Okay. Okay, before I get started, yeah, I have to share the stream, so let people know that I'm in here. Let people know. Let people know I'm here. So you gotta share the stream. Okay. Okay. Then do it on Facebook. All right. So the news break. Before I get into that, I want to tell you how my day was. My day went nice. It's raining out. Well, it's not raining in my neck of the woods, but it's raining where I work at, and it was pouring like crazy, man. I was like, oh shit, I need to do a lift. Cause I was gonna ride the bus and rain was falling all really nilly like that. I was like, shit. And they asked for a tornado watch too, and I didn't see no tornadoes in my negative. Okay, I live in Maryland. We ain't gonna get no F4, F5s here in this state. Yeah, we just not. We probably get like small itty bitty ones, but as far as big ones, I don't see it happening. It's Friday. Last week I had a week off. I did my PTO. It was awesome. Took care of my grandmother, made sure she's fed and everything. She's 95, so she really can't do much. And it's just to see how old she is now. It's like it makes me put in perspective where time has passed. Like I'm 36 years old right now, about to turn 37 next month. And man, I remember back in the day where I was a little young and she was like in her mid 50s, early 60s. You know, that's the grandma I remember. She was still working. She managed a beauty shop and everything. I was her shadow, still her shadow. But anyway, let's get back to let's get to the news here. You like my phone? It's Avengers themed. Anyway, Sasha Banks and Luke Harper want out of their WWE contracts, but that's easier said than done. I'm gonna read the article here by from Deadspin by David Bixenspan, whatever. On Tuesday, WWE wrestler Luke Harper tweeted a statement saying that he has requested his release from his contract. This was just a week after Sasha Banks, fresh off an abrupt end of her and Bayley's storyline push at Women's Tag Team Champions, reportedly asked for her own release from the promotion. on Monday Night Raw, an announcer, Corey Graves, who he can be an asshole. He's like, Corey Graves kind of reminds me of a young JBL with his wittiness. Anyway, announcer Corey Graves gave the promotion side of the story when he gave the promotion side of the story. When he described Banks as effectively taking her ball and going home, which that's the only kind of excuse that the WWE will talk bad about a person who leaves the company. Like, you just take your ball. They said the same exact shit when Shawn Michaels left to have back surgery from WrestleMania 16, I guess. Like, I remember Triple H did a promo about something like, Shawn Michaels took his ball and went home or whatever. Or like Stone Cold left abruptly because he didn't agree with the booking of his character where he was about to wrestle Brock Lesnar. But it is what it is. Okay. WWE brass has given her the next few weeks off to think about the decision. When similar situations arisen, it is. Where I was going? I forgot. Oh yeah, when similar situation has arisen over the last several years, the process has been a crapshoot. That's much less the case now with the Khan family's All Elite Wrestling weeks away from its first show. Plenty of wrestlers have wanted to leave WWE in the past, although getting out of their contracts has never been easy. With all you gotta do, Sasha and Luke, is hire a lawyer so they can fight for you to get out of that fucking contract. That's all. So plenty of wrestlers have wanted to leave WWE in the past, although getting out of the past. Okay. With a real competitor on the scene, one of the more complicated and opaque processes in the wrestling, opaque, whatever. In wrestling business looks likely to get even more so. George Barrios, WWE CFO and co-president, told attendees at last year's Needham Growth Conference that both parties could terminate WWE telecontracts in pretty short order, adding that we're not trying to lock anyone up. It has to work for both parties. In the last years, though, it has become increasingly clear that this isn't actually how it works at all. The promotion reported freezing of the contracts of Neville, now Pac, and AEW. Daniel Bryan and Rey Mysterio has made abundantly clear those wrestlers' circumstances vary naturally. Neville just wanted out and instead found himself locked in for a year. Bryan's deal was frozen indefinitely during the period when he wasn't cleared to wrestle or performing as a non-wrestler. Mysterio's deal simply expired only for Vince McMahon to Vince McMahon to abruptly to extend it based on Rey's injury, time off. Yeah, I'm sorry, I get stuck on words. Anyway, at the time, it was believed that Mysterio was the first wrestler. I gotta look at it higher. Where was I? I believe that Mysterio was the first wrestler that WWE had ever subjected to a clause in the standard WWE talent contract that allows WWE to fire, suspend, and freeze wrestlers unable to wrestle for 6 consecutive weeks during a term of engagement for any or no reason. When reached for a comment, WWE declined to provide specific details about talent contracts on the record. The early termination section of the most recent publicly available WWE contract, Stephanie McMahon's Form 2013 outlined specific raise out of a contract for the promotion, WWE, but not for the wrestler. The closest thing to saying how a wrestler can get out of a deal is to note that the agreement may be terminated prior to the end of its term by a written instrument, executed by each of the parties expressing their mutual consent. The above cases prove that it didn't take the arrival of AEW for WWE to exert a on this. How you say this word? This is like, what the fuck? Oh, it's 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 aneurysm, whatever. All right, I need to read more. Anyway, level of control over wrestlers who wanted out, flexing its authority over employees is something like a core value at WWE has been for many years, but in the cases of Neville, Bryan, and Mysterio's all also so that if anything, WWE has largely gotten more restrictive. They won't lose nobody. That's why WWE has largely gotten more restrictive in how it handles wrestlers seeking to leave the promotion. All three of these wrestlers have obvious destinations. Mysterio had a spot waiting for him at Lucha Underground back when they was willing to spend big money. Pac got fed up as WWE was trying to swallow up the British indie scene, and Bryan would have to provide a huge boost to New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor. And now there's AEW, a big new competitor, right in WWE's backyard. Competitors have come and gone in the past, but there is an intriguing irony to this one, given that it might very well not exist if WWE hadn't given Cody Rhodes a release 3 years ago. Cody may have been wallowing in the undercard when he left WWE, but he is still just 30 years old and had both real name value and unteachable knack of marketing himself. WWE letting a prospect like that walk again seems unlikely. And the recent release request that WWE granted both wrestlers was pushing 40, with one Hideo Itami, was he go by the name outside WWE, Kenta. Obviously intending to move home to Japan, and the other, Ty Dillinger, being a buddy of Cody's, who is most valuable as a veteran locker room presence at this point. Luke Harper is also pushing 40, as this happens, but while he's largely been wasted by WWE, he still has a ton of upside. He also likely realizes that the public plea might help force WWE's hand, giving him what he wants. The same tactic worked for Dillinger. See here. Sasha Banks is a different case, though. She has said very publicly outside of a deeply cryptic Twitter statement, and the same goes for her husband. The indie wrestler turned WWE costume designer and seamster, Sarath Makazi Tan, while Harper's situation is relatively straightforward. He hasn't been used in a way that honors his potential. He wants to go someplace that will. What's up with Banks is more involved, while she was originally the focus of the rebranded, refocused women's division along with Charlotte Flair. She has long been out of the title picture. The exception was her January match with Ronda Rousey, for which she was explicitly framed as a hand-picked challenger. But with WWE monthly pay-per-views, live specials, now mixing up Raw and SmackDown talent, being one of the women's rosters and decidedly not in the title picture significantly, limits both exposure and upward mobility. Banks also spends over a year stuck in a drawn-out, completely nonsensical storyline with real-life best friend Bailey that had little to no continuity and somehow managed to devalue both women, parlaying the programs into Banks and Bailey becoming the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Champions in July was an attempt to salvage that disaster, but then lost the belts at WrestleMania before they could establish the title as valuable. If Banks feel like the promotion doesn't know what to do with her, then plenty of evidence to back that up. Throw in that she's been labeled as injury prone and that she and Bailey weren't told of the tag title change until the day of WrestleMania, and it's pretty easy to see why Banks wants out. If she wants to get a release with minimum credentials, I bet a name that isn't the WWE owned one under which she currently wrestles. Excuse me, would be the biggest free agent female wrestler by a wide margin, and Hughes get what? Hold on. It would be the biggest free agent female wrestler by a wide margin, and a huge get for AEW. Okay. The startup is expected to build around a serious women's division that will be heavy on Japanese imports, but they don't yet have any female talent with the name value of their top male talent. Banks would fill that role and would get pushed as a star. And she also have a deep pool of top talent to work with and would likely be able to stage some soul stealing match. My eyes getting tired. Anyway, some soul stealing matches as a result. It would be mutual beneficial relationship, but since it would give AEW a bona fide WWE star in the area where they lacking established star power, is unlikely to WWE will just let it happen. So yes, WWE is clearly going to do whatever it can to hold on to Sasha Banks if they try to freeze her out, and will keep quiet like the others did. It would be easier than ever to get media attention for her plight if she wanted to, especially after last week. Tonight told millions of viewers about WWE's labor practices at, oh yeah, I remember that, a week before WrestleMania, but Banks most likely got the kind of money that will make taking WWE to court worth doing. It could very well take months before we know much more about how this is going to resolve. By that point, we'll also likely know the full scope of the kind of TV contracts that AEW has secured, while WWE will be watching that closely too. That was a lengthy article with some big words I couldn't pronounce, but he hit the nail right on the head about Sasha Banks, Bailey, some wrestlers contracts like Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, Ty Dillinger. But I haven't heard anything. You can't see my face. I haven't seen anything in regards of Dean Ambrose, because Dean Ambrose, I don't know about that one because they advertised it on the show. Like, he's leaving. It's his last match, whatever. I don't know. I think that's a work. Anyway, you see the shit that's happening on WWE. It pains me to say that Vince is losing it. Vince need to get out of that a gorilla position mode. I know he enjoys it, but at the same time, he don't have it anymore. And I think we get close on seeing that Vince McMahon is not the same Vince McMahon that we were seeing back in the day in the Attitude Era and the Golden Age era. That was a younger, vigorous ruthless Vince McMahon. Now Vince McMahon is an old man that's like stuck in 1996 of how he viewed what sports entertainment is, wrestling. So everything goes down with Vince. You saw Raw last time. I mean, the other day, this week. And SmackDown with the Superstar Shakeup, you knew something was off. Like, what the fuck? It was so anticlimactic that it wasn't fun to watch. It wasn't really that fun to watch, and I just couldn't watch it, especially Raw. Raw is hold on, I gotta turn on the AC. Get some cool air in here. Anyway, I couldn't watch Raw. That shit was terrible. SmackDown was even worse. SmackDown used to be, I remember SmackDown was always better than Raw. Vince didn't like that because Vince's baby is Raw. But SmackDown was the better show, especially when Paul Heyman was there. When he was the storyline fucking figurehead of the brand. I watched SmackDown and Raw. It's like it felt in comparison where they trying to make SmackDown like Raw and vice versa. And that sense is, I don't even know why Vince brought back Bruce Pritchard. I know why. Well, actually, I do know why, because Bruce Pritchard knows it in Vince's head. Jim Cornette said in this podcast, the Jim Cornette Experience, I reckon you subscribe to his podcast on MLW Radio or Apple Podcasts, whatever. He said that he hired, or at the time, he was thinking about bringing Bruce Pritchard back, Vince McMahon did, about hiring Bruce Pritchard into the helm of Vince McMahon because Bruce Pritchard knows him very well. Bruce Pritchard knows it. You know, he gets it. So when Vince McMahon tells Bruce Pritchard something that's like cryptic or whatever, only Bruce Pritchard knows what Vince is talking about. That's why they got the job. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know why Bruce Pritchard's back. That motherfucker is like, he should have stayed in Impact, or he should have waited and followed, or had a talk with, what's his name, Conrad Johnson, whatever his name is, his co-host, Conrad. Should have told him, like, hey, man, is any room for AEW? I want to work there. Because that's the only wrestling promotion I see promise. You know? You got Tony Khan, long-time wrestling fan, got a lot of money. He's going to be the Vince McMahon centerpiece. And then you got Cody Rhodes. And then you got the supporting cast, the Young Bucks and what was his name? Kenny Omega. But it's basically going to be, in AEW, it's going to be Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes. Because goddamn it, look at Cody's dad. He ran WCW on the entertainment side. He's very creative. Tony Khan got the money. That's an awesome dynamic. You got creative genius, and then you got money, billions of dollars to back that shit up. That's awesome. Sasha Banks has been frustrated with WWE for like a couple years now, so this is nothing new. And it's also like, it's fucking weird that other fans dog Sasha Banks for being disgruntled, calling her entitled and all that other shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Just put her in your shoes, or is that the other way around? Anyway, try to understand what she's going through. I know everybody has worked a certain job that I hate working here. I want to leave. Everybody has been through that. Same with Sasha Banks. Every time, you know what? This is why I think that Vince McMahon don't get Sasha Banks. Every time she ever had the title, she had the title, the Women's Championship, for like, I think 4 or 5 times, and her reigns never really lasted as long than one day. I don't know. And then when she dropped the title to somebody else, it's either Charlotte or Alexa Bliss, who don't do nothing. I can't stand that non-wrestling bitch. I swear, she's good. Good. She looked good to look at, but at the same time, she can't wrestle. You know why I know she can't wrestle? And that one big bitch, but she looked good. I can't remember her name. God damn it! Every time I start recording or I'm streaming, I keep forgetting shit. It's not Sasha Banks. I'm not like most girls. Who was that? I forgot her name. Oh shit! Oh, this is gonna take a while. Nia Jax. I saw them wrestle at one pay-per-view. That match was sloppy as fuck. I did not like that match at all. It didn't. They was best friends. I know they still best friends in real life, but they didn't show no types of chemistry. One person looked like one person was doing or wanted to do one thing, and the other wanted to do it the next. It didn't have no unison to it. When you wrestling in the fucking wrestling ring, you gotta have chemistry in the match to work together. That shit, the spots was botches. It was Botchamania. You ever say I watched that show on YouTube? It's funny as shit. Anyway, but yeah, Alexa Bliss. Only thing is good for her is her body and the way she talk on the mic. But that's how you get over in WWE. If you can't talk on the mic, then you're not gonna get pushed. It doesn't matter how much skill you have in that ring. If you can talk on the mic, then it's golden. It's golden, baby. So it is what it is on that one. Luke Harper. Luke Harper he did have a little strong little puss when he was a singles competitor with the eyes, like look creepy as shit. Yeah, I remember he did that. Those I was watching Raw. I was like, who's making that noise? And it was Luke Harper. Very nimble and agile for his size. I'm thinking he's like 6'8", 6'5", something like that. Ever since Luke Harper got injured, his career has stood still. He's more talented than Erick Rowan, they fucked up his character up. He's actually a henchman of Daniel Bryan. He just stands there right next to Daniel Bryan like a dope. But he's more talented than Erick Rowan. Shit, wearing these disgusting ass deplorable t-shirts he wears. He don't look anything special, you know. But he just got fed up. He's not being used. He's not being used. I want to go someplace else that will give me the opportunity to wrestle and not sit on the sidelines and collect a check. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, sitting on the sidelines to collect a check, even though you're not going to get used, is going to wear off very fast. I'm like, okay, you got me sitting on the sidelines. You got me sitting in catering. How long that's going to last? I hope it's going to be more than less than 2 weeks. I'm just sitting here not doing shit, collecting a paycheck. I feel like I didn't work hard for that check. I'm getting free money. Which that to most people, that would be like awesome for a week or two. But then it's like, damn, how come I'm not working? Shit, getting anxious. I love my vape. Tastes like Golden Grams. But it is what it is, man. You get fed up with one company, another company will open up their doors for you. But it's depending on which ones that's best suited for you, based on location, and based on that company specific style of wrestling that enhances you. You want to go up to Canada and work for Impact Wrestling because they no longer in Nashville, they in Canada now. Since Anthem bought that company off of Dixie, you want to go to Lucha Underground? You want to go to or you want come up here to Baltimore and wrestle for Ring of Honor? You know what I'm saying? Or you want to go to AEW if you live in Orlando. Because, they in Jacksonville. That's like a couple hours away. Hey, Siri. How far is Jacksonville from Orlando, Florida?
Jacksonville is about 141 miles from Orlando by car, or about 125 miles as the crow flies.
So 141 miles together between, I love Siri, between Orlando and Jacksonville. It's like 131 miles. That's like an hour and a half. Yeah, that seems about right. Like an hour and a half, like 2 hours, 3 hours. Depends on traffic. Probably an hour and a half if there's no traffic. But 2 hours to 3 hours if there is traffic. I only live in Florida. I wish I lived in Florida. It's sunshine all day. It's always hot. You gotta wear. I love wearing shorts. I swear, shorts are the best. I put on my Adidas soccer sandals, the one with the little fingers on the feet. The little fingers. Yeah, man, that's my favorite kind of sandals. I don't like them thong sandals. I don't like nothing in between my toes. I've always been like that ever since I was little. Like when my mom bought me some thong sandals, that little thing in between your big toe and your middle toe, that shit irritated the fuck out of me. I never want to wear sandals. And plus, they look girly. That's why I like soccer sandals. Anyway, one with the feet in them, the massage the feet while you walk. Anyway, but yeah, I'm happy for Sasha Banks and Luke Harper because they ain't doing nothing with them. WWE sucks. The only brand of WWE that's really good is NXT. I would like Sasha Banks to stay with WWE and just work NXT. Just work NXT. That's what you gotta do. Because obviously Sasha Banks enjoy NXT more than the main roster. I think she wanted to go and step down herself from the main roster to NXT, but it is what it is. I'm tired of talking. It's been 32 minutes, half hour. I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm sorry about that dry ass article I just read. I did not know it was gonna be that fucking long. Anyway, hit that like button. Social media links will be down in the description box below. You want to see more videos? Hit that subscribe button, and also click that bell. Get notified. Peace.